It's James. I'm in the Net News Ledger News studio here with Mayor Keith Hobbs. This has been a hell of a week.
It's been a pretty interesting week, James, for sure.
The event center, there seems to have been a stop and now there's a bit of hope at the end of the tunnel. What's happening?
Well, what I'm doing on April 13th, James, is I'm going to ask City Council to refer the matter back to administration. I don't like the way it's finished off and people are assuming the issue's dead. I don't want that to happen. I want to see options, and we haven't even explored options yet. Option B, C, D, E, F, however many there are. And I just want council to make sure that the job is done before anyone says this project's dead or shelved.
Now, the letter that came to the city seems to have created a lot of confusion across a bunch of lines. First off, when I read the letter, the first 5 paragraphs are basically sounding like the federal government is saying everything they've done is great, 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 great. You go to page 2 and it's like, well, no.
Well, everything the federal government did up until last week, the 30th of March, has been great. We've met with Minister Rickford. We've got FedNor funding for phase 2 and 3 to the tune of about $850,000, and we're rolling along. Everyone knew what the project was. Everyone knew it was under one roof. That we were never going to ask as a city for funding for the event portion of that building. We were only asking for funding for the convention center portion of that building. So I don't know where the confusion comes in, because I was never informed, neither was any of our administration, that we had to build 2 separate buildings until we got the final response from Minister LaBelle. So had we known that going in back 5 years ago, we probably wouldn't have never started this one off looking for federal funding. When we asked for $3 million for phase 4 of this project, Amy DiMatteo from FedNor referred us to the gas tax fund. So there's a document right there that says, look to the gas tax fund. So I met with Minister Rickford at PDAC, and I got to say, Minister Rickford's a great advocate for the Northwest in this city. He's a personal friend of mine, and I'm going to say it straight out. I think this comes right from the top, above him, above Minister LaBelle, and I'm going to put it right in the Prime Minister's office where it belongs, because I think it was his edict, and I'm not going to pull any punches with that. But every step of the way, we've been apprising Minister Rickford of what our intention is, and it's always been to build an event and convention center housed under one roof. We have never asked for funding for the rink portion or event portion, knowing that the AHL Winnipeg Jets farm team was the major tenant.
So it's not over yet?
Well, you know what, I don't like to quit. I'm not a quitter, I'm a fighter, and I really firmly believe that Thunder Bay needs this event and convention center, however it looks, and administration may come back and say we don't have a plan B or a plan C or D, and we may have to shelve this project, but we still have to replace the gardens, and that's something that came out loud and clear from the opponents and the proponents. We need to replace the gardens. That's a fact. So how do we do that?
It's a difficulty. I mean, this week the Thunder Bay North Stars are playing some top-notch playoff hockey, and 400 and 500 people are going. Now, the Gardens is a cold place to sit on uncomfortable seats with a poor sound system.
And not only that, it's not accessible. And in our strategic plan, we talk about a connected, healthy, vibrant community, and one of our pillars is accessibility. It's a huge issue with us, and I said it at council last week. My friend Dave Shannon, everyone knows him in town, Order of Canada, he's a paraplegic, and he says, I have 1 seat at the Fort William Gardens, and that's looking through the glass at the end zone, and that's not fair. He needs to sit at the top of the bowl or in the middle of the bowl and have a good seat like anyone else, and that just goes, I'm not talking just for Dave, I'm talking anyone with a disability. So for that reason alone, we should be looking at a new facility. When you bring a show in or any kind of act into the Gardens, the setup is ridiculous. You've got big trucks sitting out on a main thoroughfare in the city, and it's not workable. My children, I think I brought them to the Shrine Circus once. I don't think they've ever been in that facility since.
So back to council on April the 13th.
Yes.
James in the Net News Ledger studio with Mayor Keith Hobbs.
Thanks, James.
It's James.